Hi, it's John from North Star Nursery, Garden and Home, your coastal gardener. I am doing this on my own today, and it looks like all of a sudden all you can see is me. So let me see if I can adjust that a little bit. Sorry about this, guys. So much fun doing this solo. So I will hold stuff up for you to see. So what I wanted to talk to you today is Echinaceas, which are coneflower, and Agastache. So this time of year, we are going into that warmer part of our season where all of the summer and fall blooming perennials start to arrive. Some of them are in bud form, not quite blooming yet. But again, as usual, I'm trying to get you guys to kind of think ahead a little bit. These are perennials, some of them blooming now, that will bloom all the way through until the first frost. The Echinaceas, the old style Echinaceas, we used to just have like a white one, I think that was called White Swan, a purple one, that I think was just Echinacea magnus. But in the last 3 to 5 years, there have been huge leaps in hybridizing. And a lot of these are not in bloom yet. So what I'll do is at the end of the video, I will drop some images of these Echinaceas that we currently have. But just FYI, we are on the tip of the iceberg. So we will be seeing a plethora of Echinaceas coming in the next 3 to 4 weeks. One of the ones which I posted earlier this week, which I'm not sure if I have any of, I think they're already sold out, is called Tres Amigos. It is a beautiful Echinacea that has multicolored flowers. Sorry, I shouldn't say multicolored. There are different colored flowers on the same plant. Anywhere from kind of a reddish orange to kind of a reddish rust color. So really, really a great plant if you want some diversity in your yard as far as bloom colors from one plant. The other thing is the traditional coneflower does have a cone-shaped seed head with the petals that kind of drop down. Now, all of these hybrids are going crazy. There's even something called an Echinacea, which is a cross between an Echinacea and a Rudbeckia. What that creates is, of course, a higher domed seed head, but the Echinaceias, the flowers are probably, I'd say about 5 to 6 inches across. We do have some of them here. They're not all blooming, but again, if you're looking for that fall kind of wow, or summer into fall wow, they're definitely what you want to think about. Echinaceas, of course, are pretty much, for the most part, deer resistant. The Agastache is beautifully deer resistant because it's in the mint family. So, but I'll show you more of those later. The ones that we got in a few weeks ago in the Echinacea, we have Powwow White in gallons. Powwow Wild Berry was the one that I posted earlier this week. And so if you want to look at the pictures, but again, I'll drop this again. It's a great color, is kind of in the purple range. So a wonderful addition to the perennial border. These guys top out for the most part 2.5, sometimes 3 feet. The older varieties especially can get a little bit taller. The hybrids have a tendency to be a little bit on the shorter side, but definitely for that mid-range and a perennial border. I want to actually use them as a swath on my property. Swath being multiple plants kind of in what would be classified as an organic movement, so kind of an S curve, and you plant it along that S curve. Lots of fun, and then you can pop things in the middle. This one, so there's a whole series called Double Scoop. And this one is Double Scoop Raspberry. So it's of course going to be a red flower. We also have Double Scoop Mandarin, which is really beautiful. So the Double Scoop, I'm trying to think of how to, it almost looks like a chrysanthemum in the center with petals that kind of hang out to the side. So as opposed to having that kind of cone seed head, it has kind of this chrysanthemum-like flower in the center in that color, and then the larger petals to the side. Not sure if I mentioned it. For the most part, deer resistant on the Echinaceas. I did actually. When going to plant them, all of these plants, the Echinaceas and the Agastache, they require a lot of sun to bloom best. So you want them in a full sun situation. And the first 3 years, you want to water them regularly. Usually what I say is the very first year, at least twice a week at a minimum. And then the next year, pull back by half, and the next year, pull back by half again. They can be drought tolerant once established. They wouldn't mind some additional water during the late summer, fall season when they're actually doing their big show. So something to think about. When planting, of course, you want to use Sure Start. This is what we love and use with every plant we grow. If you are wanting to fertilize after you have them planted and need to hit them with flowers in mind, the Maxi flower formula would be suggested. If not, if you just have the Maxi all-purpose, of course, use that. This is one of my pantry basics. Also, what I forgot to mention, when it comes to planting them, a new planting of Echinacea or even the Agastache in an area that's open to deer, you really want to make sure you hit it with the liquid fence. This will tell the deer they do not want to try it. If it's new in your garden, they're going to want to try it. It's just what they do. So a lot of customers will come in and they'll say, oh, I planted it and they ate the flower off. Well, they're trying it and they'll probably spit it out, but more than likely they're not going to eat it completely. So liquid fence. What I do at my house, we are open to the deer. So I spray a lot of my plants once a month with this because I think it really makes a difference with keeping them off. We have climbing roses on the house and other plants that they adore that I refuse to let go of planting in my landscape. So liquid fence is the name of the game. Once a month. If for some reason, if you're doing it in early spring and it rains 24 hours after you've sprayed, you're going to have to reapply. But once it's dried, it's good for a solid month. Just make sure you put it on your calendar. Because let me tell you, the deer seem to know about the calendar. Because if I'm a day or two past a month, they're on it. So let's talk Agastache. Oh, both of these plants are excellent pollinators, or excellent for pollinators. So if you're looking for things to go in your garden that are going to increase the amount of pollinators you have, these two plants would be very much suited to that. This is, I just love this. This is called Agastache Butter Yellow. The really neat thing about the Agastache is that on the flowers, you have the first flower that comes out is usually a different, slightly different color. So on these, it's just a slight pink. And then as it ages to that second color, which on this is a butter yellow. This guy is, Echinacea, good Lord. Agastache Kudos Mandarin. So you can kind of see it's a slightly darker flower that ages to a lighter one. This guy only gets about 2 feet tall. For the most part, most of the Agastaches are going to hover right in that 2-foot range. There's some of the older Agastaches that have not been hybridized that might get a bit taller. This one, again, a lot of this stuff isn't blooming yet, but I really wanted to talk to you about it. This is Agastache Honey Sticks Purple. So this guy is going to get, 18 inches. Oof, this one's really, really pretty. They do have kind of an odd look when they're young, kind of all over the place. But once they get mature, and usually the second year, they have this really great habit, much like a penstemon. So this is Agastache Kudos Ambrosia. And really, really great orange buds that fade to this kind of rosy pink. Great addition to the garden. Here is another one called Kudos Coral. Not sure if you can catch that. It's a real pretty color too. This comes from Emerissa in Santa Rosa. And then we have Agastache Guava Lava. These names are always so crazy. This one again, 20 inches or so tall. Another really pretty color. This one is from Blooms in Sonoma. And then we have Agastache Morello. This one isn't blooming yet, but you can kind of see it's a nice dark rose color. Again, the hummingbirds are going to love you for this, especially on the on the Agastache. I keep getting them confused. So great for a hummingbird garden or a butterfly garden for sure. The Echinacea also, not the hummingbirds as much, but the butterflies and bees really adore that. I think that might be it. Hopefully I didn't do too bad without David. And I think I'll make a wrap of it. All right, have a great day, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the nursery.